Howdy folks, OGB here. In this video, I'm going to show you how the Scholar can do big damage with his little ding-a-ling. Now you're probably saying to yourself, how can the Wraith calling bell do good damage? I was told it only scales off magic attack power. Well, it turns out that's not the whole truth. The Wraith calling bell actually scales with all kinds of different damage increasing effects that you can get from your relics. And the ones I want to focus on here are the increased damage against frost and poison targets, attack power up with 3+ weapons, and anything that buffs your raw spell damage. Examples of something like these raw spell damage increases would be the reduced damage negation from frost, from the throwing knife debuff, or the increased spell power from fully upgraded Exalted Flesh. As you can see here, my Wraith Calling Bell damage at level 1 has gone from around 160 up to 233 after applying the Exalted Flesh and the knife debuff. If we go over to our frostable target, we can see that the level 1 Wraith Calling Bell is now hitting for almost 300 damage per hit with our debuffs applied. And the reason for that is because I'm using the Caligo relic, which gives me not just Chilling Mist on my weapon, but also increased damage versus frosted targets. So there it is, 294 damage, and we have not even upgraded the bell yet. Now here we are with the level 2 bell, same debuffs, hitting for 323 damage. And now we're going to take it up even another notch by going to level 3 on the bell, and I'm going to put on 2 more thrusting swords to activate my triple thrusting sword attack power relic. So we end up with 254 base damage, 306 damage after the meat, It's taking a little bit longer to get the frost up this time because I've been testing on this guy for a while now. But boom, there it is, 465 damage out of the Wraith Calling Bell. That is significant. And the crazy thing is, you can do this while sprinting. Take a look at the amount of ground I'm covering while ringing the bell. This is done by holding down the sprint button, jumping, and then immediately spamming the item button as you hit the ground. Once you enter this state, you can continue using items or flasks or spells until you run out of stamina and can no longer sprint. Scholar also happens to have an ability that gives him a whole bunch of extra stamina, so he's essentially perfect for doing this. And because I know you're curious, yes, it works with the Omen Bairn and the Ancestral Infant's Head as well. So if you get one of those, you can go ahead and start doing this running kamikaze explosion or the drive-by vape cloud. Now, the final thing I want to yap about here is that this scaling also does extend into the deep relics, and it can still nearly double in damage. So this is the build that I have set up here. It has everything that I can think of that I own that I can scale this damn bell with. It's not a real build, it's just what I threw together to showcase the, or rather to limit test how much damage I can get out of this bell. Alright, let's get the debuffs on and see what this puppy can do. Got poison, got frost, got knife debuff. Eat some meat. And ding-a-ling. 883 damage on something you can spam while running. That's pretty good, right? And not to mention, I have an Everjail bonus on this build that isn't doing anything for me right now. In case it's not just completely obvious, the reason Scholar is so good at this is because he has the highest arcane in the game, which means it's incredibly easy for him to dart in, proc whatever statuses he wants, then dart back out and take advantage of those increased damage buffs. The rest of this video will just be clips of my expeditions showcasing how I use the sprint casting to deal with enemies. If you're not interested in seeing that, then I hope you learned a thing or two from watching this, and maybe you can go create your own Wraith calling runner or jingle jogger, dashing dinger. I don't know what to call this build, but it's funny and I like it, and I hope that you did too. OGB out.